Today, we've actually got two big stories that every NASCAR fan needs to know before the green flag drops at Chicagoland. One involves a major driver change that could have a bigger impact than most people realize. The other centers around one of the hottest names in the sport after an unforgettable weekend. Both situations could influence how the rest of this season unfolds. And honestly, there are some interesting decisions being made that deserve a closer look. So stick around because we're going to break down both of these stories, explain why they matter, and what they could mean going forward. And before we jump in, if you enjoy talking NASCAR with fans who live and breathe this sport every single week, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to NASCAR Nation Report. We're still a brand new channel with a goal of reaching 15,000 subscribers, and it would be awesome to have you here from the very beginning as we build this community together. Let's get into the first story, because this one has a lot more moving pieces than it might seem at first. Ross Chastain will not be racing this weekend in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series event at Chicagoland Speedway. But it's not because of an injury, a suspension, or anything like that. It's actually because he's already reached the maximum number of O'Reilly Series starts he's allowed to make at this point in the season. Full-time NASCAR Cup Series drivers with at least 3 years of Cup experience can compete in up to 10 O'Reilly Series races during the year, and Chastain has now completed 8 of those starts after racing last weekend at Sonoma Raceway. That Sonoma race was also his 4th appearance in the number 32 Jordan Anderson Racing Chevrolet. Interestingly, it was the first time he didn't finish inside the top 9 after ending his day with a DNF. That definitely wasn't the result his team was hoping for. His final 2 O'Reilly Series races of the season are already planned. He'll return later this month at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and then again in August at Iowa Speedway. Both of those races will come driving the number 9 JR Motorsports Chevrolet instead of the Jordan Anderson Racing entry. And that's where things get really interesting. Taking over the number 32 Chevrolet this weekend at Chicagoland will be Rajah Caruth. Now, if you've been following this series every week, you already know Caruth has been bouncing between rides all season. He's the primary full-time driver of the number 88 JR Motorsports Chevrolet, but that program was always designed to give several races to Hendrick Motorsports Cup Series drivers throughout the year. Since Chase Elliott is scheduled to drive the number 88 car this weekend, Caruth slides back into the number 32 Jordan Anderson Racing Chevrolet for what will be his 9th start in that car this season. His best finish in the number 32 has been 7th at Pocono Raceway, while his best overall finish this year remains 4th at Rockingham Speedway. He's also expected to make one final start in the number 32 at Indianapolis when Chase Elliott returns to the NOS. 88 once again. Right now, Rajah Caruth sits 14th in the championship standings, just 26 points below the playoff cut line. Every single point matters from here on out, so even though switching cars every few weeks isn't exactly ideal, this weekend could play a huge role in keeping his postseason hopes alive. As for Ross Chastain, when he comes back later this season in the No. 9 JR Motorsports Chevrolet, he'll be returning to a car that's already treated him very well. He picked up a victory at Charlotte Motor Speedway back in May, giving him his first win in this series since 2019. Earlier this season, he also drove the number 91 DGM Racing with Jesse Iwuji Motorsports Chevrolet at Martinsville Speedway and brought it home in 8th place. Now here's where the second part of this story connects. One of the biggest names in NASCAR is also making his return this weekend. Chase Elliott will make his first NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series start of the 2026 season at Chicagoland Speedway. After Connor Zilisch moved from JR Motorsports to Trackhouse Racing for a full-time NASCAR Cup Series ride following his outstanding rookie campaign, Rajah Caruth became the primary driver of the numbered 88 Chevrolet. But that deal only covered 23 of the season's 33 races, leaving 10 events for the Hendrick Motorsports Cup drivers. Kyle Larson and William Byron have already completed their scheduled appearances. Larson even picked up 2 additional starts by filling in for Alex Bowman at Darlington Raceway and Nashville Superspeedway. Now, it's Chase Elliott's turn. This will actually be Elliott's first O'Reilly Series race for JR Motorsports since 2021, and remarkably, his first oval race with the team since 2019. For fans, that's a really fun storyline because Chicagoland is making its return to the schedule for the first time since 2019. And now, one of the sport's biggest stars is returning to the series at the exact same track. Meanwhile, Rajah Caruth remains a full-time championship contender despite all these driver swaps. After this weekend, Elliott is only expected to replace him one more time at Indianapolis. From there, Carruth is scheduled to drive the number 88 Chevrolet throughout all 9 playoff races, assuming he qualifies for the 12-driver postseason. And that's incredibly important because the number 88 team currently sits 3rd in the owner standings, while the No. 32 team is 17th. If Carruth can get himself above the playoff cut line, having that stronger JR Motorsports team around him during the playoffs could become a huge advantage. Now let's move on to our second story, because another JR Motorsports driver change has officially been confirmed after one incredible weekend. Shane van Gisbergen did exactly what everyone expected at Sonoma Raceway. He dominated the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race, earning his second victory in just 3 starts this season, driving the number 9 JR Motorsports Chevrolet. Then, less than 24 hours later, he backed it up by winning the NASCAR Cup Series race at Sonoma as well. That gave him back-to-back Cup victories in wine country and extended his overall winning streak at the track dating back to 2025. Honestly, when SVG gets to a road course right now, it almost feels like everyone else is racing for second. But as successful as he's been, his O'Reilly Series schedule for 2026 is officially finished. That isn't a surprise because there aren't any more road courses left on this year's schedule, and those were always the races he was expected to enter. Even though Shane won't be back in the number 9 this weekend, the car itself will return at Chicagoland. And the driver taking over is Carson Cavapol. If you've followed Cavapol this season, you already know nobody has spent more time playing musical chairs than he has. He's splitting time in the number 1 JR Motorsports Chevrolet with Connor Zilisch after running that car full-time a year ago. Whenever Zilisch drives the number 1, JR Motorsports brings out the number 9. If another driver like Shane van Gisbergen is already using the number 9, Cavapol has been driving the No. 91 Chevrolet for DGM Racing with Jesse Iwuji Motorsports instead. With Shane van Gisbergen stepping away after Sonoma and Connor Zilisch back in the number 1 this weekend, Cavapol returns to the number 9 Chevrolet for the 5th time this season, and for the first time since the Pocono Raceway race in the middle of June. The numbers behind his season are honestly unbelievable. At Sonoma, he drove the number 91 Chevrolet to a 6th place finish. This weekend marks the 15th time he's changed cars this season and the 8th different team assignment. Even crazier, it'll be his 9th consecutive race switching cars. The last time he drove the same car in back-to-back races was all the way back in April when he competed in the number 1 Chevrolet at Kansas Speedway and Talladega Superspeedway. Despite constantly adapting to different equipment, Cavapol has quietly put together one of the most consistent seasons in the series. He's still searching for his first career victory after reaching the Championship 4 as a rookie last season, but he's currently 6th in the standings and sits an impressive 132 points above the playoff cut line. He's also bringing 6 straight top 10 finishes into Chicagoland, with 11 top 10 finishes overall this season. To me, that's one of the most underrated stories in the garage. Imagine changing cars almost every single weekend, working with different crews, different setups, and different expectations, yet still delivering results like that. It's honestly been one of the most impressive performances of the entire year. Looking at both of these stories together, it's clear that JR Motorsports has a lot of moving parts right now, but they've managed to keep every one of these programs competitive. Whether it's Ross Chastain, Raja Carruth, Chase Elliott, Shane van Gisbergen, Carson Cavapol, or Connor Zilisch, every lineup decision over the next few weeks could have a real impact on the playoff picture. With Chicagoland finally back on the schedule, and the regular season quickly coming to an end, every race, every point, and every driver change feels even more important. That's what makes this time of year so much fun to follow as NASCAR fans, because one weekend can completely change the direction of a championship. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Which storyline are you watching more closely this weekend? Do you think Raja Carruth can climb back above the playoff cut line? Can Chase Elliott make an immediate impact in the number 88? And how impressed have you been with Carson Cavapol's consistency despite switching cars almost every week? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to NASCAR Nation Report. We're still a brand new channel with a goal of reaching 15,000 subscribers, and we'd love to have you with us as one of the original members of this growing NASCAR community. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.